You signed a big contract, 8 years, 50 and a half million, $17 million signing bonus. You're on top of the world. This is now, you know what? I'm straight for the rest of my life. What, looking back now, what do you wish you have done differently?
Bet on me. Like, I should have always believed in me. I think I had trust issues with people, just knowing the upbringing, knowing the way I grew up, going from Mississippi to Gainesville to coming to the University of Miami to being drafted by Denver. I ain't trust people that I didn't know. So the moment that I started to trust people I didn't know, is that's what I would have never done. I never would have took their advice, because people give you the advice, hey man, you need to trust this person, you need to listen to this person, or they have your best interest. Man, I have my own best interest. Right. Like, if I look back to say I need to change anything, I never would have started trusting people that I didn't know. Like, these people weren't around me. These people didn't have my best interest. And I would have understood that these people are out to get paid the same way I'm trying to get paid. And my bread and butter is on this field, not this investment over here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, often people get involved in investments that turn out to pay out and give them a lot of money, but it'd be the other way around. They put small portions in or put a reasonable portion in and end up getting a lot of money. Not where you put a lot of money in and you're putting the bulk of the money in somebody else is getting, you know? Right. So for me, I think it was just more of trusting people that I didn't know, that I never should have trusted in the first place, and thinking that they had my best interest. So I wouldn't point the finger at them. I would point the finger at me and say, I didn't want to trust you in the first place. Like, somebody else convinced me right. that I should trust you. Like, right. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you, and I would have rather betted on me and believed in me.
Because you're looking at it like, I'm getting paid on the football field. They're looking at, I'm about to get paid off of him. While he's doing all the work, I'm going to reap the benefits, because they know what you don't know. And that's the thing that I tell athletes now, is that you don't know what you don't know. And it's hard, Portis. We've all been in situations where somebody's taking advantage of us because we didn't know all the things that we should know. Hopefully you find the right people that will do the right things on your behalf. And it's very unfortunate that you learned the hard way that I read your bio where people was writing checks on your behalf. And that's what you learned. You can't give anybody the power of attorney, because nobody, next thing you know, there's money going out. You're like, well, why can't I get this? Why I don't have enough money to cover that? Because they've emptied the coffers.
See, man, like, for me, it was just one of those situations where everything come to light. If you know early, right? If you know early, when I was doing this in 05, 06, 07, 08, making these investments, they were supposed to pay out, in 2014, 2015, down the line, right. after football was over. Right. So that was the thought process. You don't know, hey man, I should be getting a residual income. I should be getting a check, a monthly check. I should be getting something, a statement. I should be getting I should be getting something every month. I right. should be getting updated every week, bi-weekly. Correct. At the least, I should be on top of this. But you're trusting someone else to be on top of it. And with that being said, as you said, if you don't know, you know. I think in this era where you've seen so many guys, the LeBron James, the Dwayne Wades, these guys in basketball that's become phenomenal outside investors, or when you look at a Nas or Jay-Z or Diddy, how they turned their money to an empire. That wasn't in the 2000s. Remember that. Right. Like, this has just come about since 2010, 2015, where guys are making these power moves. In the 2000s, we weren't doing this. Like, right. It was nobody. Deion Sanders was the prime time, the main man to watch. He wasn't doing this. Right. Like, we didn't have LeBron blueprint. We didn't have Jay-Z blueprint at this time. Like, yeah. Jay-Z was doing the same thing I was doing. Right. You see what I'm saying? So everybody look at it like, oh man, this should have been second nature. You should have known better. Nah. No, we didn't have a guy in Edgerrin James that's got inducted into the Hall of Fame that's not taking a loss. That 10 cents gone and everybody got to come in the room. Hey, let's talk about this. We missing $10. Like, we missing $10. Let's find out why we're missing these $10.
Right.
When we find out why we're missing these $10, that person is gone. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have that. That was being established, and everybody look at it like, oh man, this is so obvious. This is like, this should have been known. Like, you should have already known this. No, you shouldn't have, because Bernie Madoff took some of the smartest people in the world.
Absolutely.
Some of the smartest people in the world.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Everybody look at athletes like these dumbass athletes. Like, these athletes are, they so dumb with their money. Well, what about, I didn't see any athletes. Bernie Madoff, athletes weren't making enough money for him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Those are some of the smartest, richest people in the world that got screwed over. You know what I mean?
You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we do something before two something.